The key contest in Texoma is the District 13th congressional race, where there are 18 candidates vying to replace Republican longtime Congressman Mac Thornberry. And one of the 15 Republicans on the March 3rd ballot, Thornberry says he and his wife Sally plan to vote for Josh Winegarner. Winegarner has worked for the Texas Cattle Feeders Association for 13 years. Before that, he began his legislative career working for Republican Senators Phil Gramm and John Cornyn. Winegarner is a native of Spearman, a small town in the northern Panhandle. Thornberry says Winegarner's background gives him a deep understanding of the district's needs and interests. While the law does not require candidates in the district, Congressman Thornberry has made it clear that he believes anyone who lives outside of the district ought to run where they live.
I'd say what I'm a little surprised about is how many people seem to be interested in running for the job who don't live in the district. Whether it's a rich fella from Dallas or somebody from Levelland or people from outside the district seem to be interested in it. Surely we can find good people who live in the district, who know the district, who can do a better job than I've done even. And I think those people will come to the fore.
It is believed the congressman is referring to the two candidates in particular. First, former White House Dr. Ronnie Jackson, who is a native of Levelland, which is west of Lubbock and outside Thornberry's 13th district. However, Jackson says he moved to Amarillo in December after retiring from the military. Dallas businessman Chris Ekstrom has also faced questions about living outside district lines. His campaign sent our newsroom a copy of his driver's license and license to carry that shows his address as Wichita Falls. And Josh Winegarner joins us live in studio with Derek Lowe to talk about this big endorsement. Derek?
Daniela, thank you. And Josh, thanks so much for offering to come on the show this morning. I want to get straight down to business. In his statement, Congressman Thornberry said that some of the candidates are pushing their own agendas. What's on your agenda?
My agenda is to make sure that I'm adequately representing everybody in the 13th congressional district. I like the intro said, I grew up in, excuse me, I grew up in Spearman. I've been living in Randall County for the last 14 years, working for the Texas Cattle Feeders Association, and I think I have a good feel for all of the areas of this district to make sure that I can represent the people of the 13th district in Congress.
Now, if you get elected, what makes you think that you're going to be able to start serving day one and represent the 13th district accurately?
Well, I think I have more experience than anyone else in the race. I worked up in Washington for 6 years, making sure that I was always attuned to what was going on in this part of the world. And then I also been working for the Texas Cattle Feeders for the last 14 years. So I've been fighting for the farmers, the ranchers, the small business owners that make up this district. I've been fighting to make sure that we can push back. We have a voice. We push back against the socialist agenda and are able to let people run their businesses like they need to.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming here to the studio this morning to kind of give everyone a first look at why you think that you're qualified to win the race. Coming up, though, you can hear more from Winegarner and other Republican candidates in the 13th congressional race tomorrow at the MPEC. That's where our very own Toby McDuff will serve as the moderator at the candidate forum. All 15 candidates are invited there, and the Wichita County Republican Party is hosting the event. The forum is tomorrow, and will start at around 6:30 at night at the Ray Clymer Exhibit Hall. Daniela, we're going to send it back to you now.